Hi, welcome back to the channel. This is Kevin here with another review for you, and I just got out of the theater from watching Superman. And this movie is a mixed bag. Backstory, just a quick rundown. This is a new James Gunn directed film for Superman. It's actually the first major project he's got under his belt since he's been placed in charge with the DC films over there with Warner Brothers after he's kind of wrapped things up with Disney and Marvel. And this one's a mixed bag. If you like the James Gunn take and his humor and stuff, and his I guess silliness of it, I believe you might like it. If you like the Guardians movies, you really like this. As for me though, I don't know. I can't. For my fresh opinion on this, I'd say I didn't like it quite as much. The movie didn't leave quite as much of a mark on me as, like, say, Man of Steel. Flawed as Man of Steel may be in some elements, I liked it. I really did like Man of Steel, and this one was definitely a different take. Now, I can understand how people would love it. And some comic fans of Superman, especially some certain storylines, certain runs of the character, would like it. But I don't know. It's just, this movie seems, forgive me, I'm kind of short on sleep here. This movie is kind of a mixed bag. I'll probably get into further details in my spoiler review of the film after I've thought of, sit on it for a little bit more, and probably actually maybe watch it one more time in the theater. I'm not sure. Some elements. One thing that did stick out to me that I did not enjoy, and I knew that I wasn't going to enjoy it because of the trailers from The Flash. I didn't like the look and the feel of the movie. That's why I just skipped. I just didn't even bother with The Flash myself. But the cinematography. Now, there are certain scenes, the non-action-y scenes and stuff, I felt like were shot okay, but just I'm not a fan of the close-up, constantly moving, rotating camera, wide-angle lens. It just doesn't... The feel of the action scenes felt much more stronger and more impactful in the previous stuff with Superman. He doesn't feel as strong. Now, it might be stylistic choice because he is supposed to be a much younger Superman. But then again, Man of Steel, that was his first foray in Superman, and he was crazy fucking strong, and he really did feel the impacts of each of his fights. And I don't know, I didn't quite like the action as much as I did in the previous movie, even though this one was much more fantastical and much more comic and just kind of out there. But yeah, I'd have to really give more thoughts to it on the spoiler movie. Now, it's 50-50. It is a mixed bag. Now, I didn't hate it. This movie wasn't necessarily trash, so by no means is it as bad as, like, some of the other movies I've seen so far this year. So that's good. I believe that this movie, my gut feeling says that this movie will have more going for it than I think Fantastic Four will later on this month. And so, yeah. Now, I did like Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. He was a proper villain, classic comic book villain. He's just a real piece of shit. He's an asshole. Some of the humor I didn't feel like quite fit the tone of Superman. I think he was a little bit too. Superman in this movie was not as stoic as I would like. That I imagine him to be, though has elements of, like, being a Boy Scout, so he is a little bit more optimistic and bright in this movie compared to Man of Steel, which I know a lot of people had complaints about him with the Henry Cavill one, but he just, I don't know. And it's a different take on Superman, so I kind of understand how some fans will be divided on it. So I think I'm kind of 50-50 on this movie. I'll have to get back to you on a longer review. So that's That's it. It's hard to say. This movie just had. I was kind of in a packed theater, so I didn't have time to really take any notes while watching the movie. So I think I will come back to you guys upon probably after another day or two, just to really flesh out a spoiler review, so I can get into pick out the nitty gritty. So yeah, movie mixed bag. If you like James Gunn stuff, his humor, his style, I'd say you probably will like it. If not, if you want a more of a traditional Superman, and I wouldn't necessarily say that Man of Steel was a traditional Superman, but you just need a real symbol of proper strength. This one is more optimistic and more innocent. So I can't appreciate this shift in direction for Superman on this movie, but he's probably a little too vulnerable for Superman for a take on Superman, a little bit too, I guess. And it's not that he necessarily needed to outright be vulnerable and weak like this. He has to be strong. He has to be a symbol of hope. He has to be rock solid as a moral figure, like Captain America say. But I don't know. This one's a mixed bag. I can see some people not liking it and some people really, really, really loving it. So I would say this: see this movie if you like the how James Gunn's kind of loose style with movies, and you don't necessarily mind just more fantastical action superhero action set pieces. But if you want a more fairly somewhat grounded type superhero films, but still kind of maintaining that sweet spot, like what I imagined Superman was, even though that felt kind of more dour, you're probably not going to like this one. So it depends on what your flavor of Superman you really prefer. So I guess that's it. I mean, I can keep talking in circles about this, but that's my quick review on this. I'll see you guys in the next one on a possible more in-depth spoiler review on this movie, because I feel like I can't say any more without getting into spoilers, and I don't want to do that. The movie just came out. So yeah. See you on the next one. Take care.